Hello and welcome. Today's practice is a bit more of a cooling, gentle practice. So if you are ready, I would invite you to join me. We'll begin flat on our backs here today, bringing the palms of our feet to the mat, knees up towards the ceiling, taking a moment here to center ourselves on the mat, checking in with our posture, doing our best to keep those hip points pressing into the mat as evenly as possible. Shoulder blades also evenly pressing into the mat as well. Staying nice and long through the back of the neck. Making sure we're not tucking our chin in towards our chest there. And taking a few seconds to bring some awareness into our breathing. Making sure we're taking those nice big full inhales and complete exhales with each breath cycle that we take. And doing our best to keep taking those nice big full complete inhales and complete exhales as we move throughout our practice here today. Breathing here a few more times, a few more complete cycles. Maybe closing your eyes if it feels right to do. And then next time we're coming to an inhale, we'll send our arms up overhead, bringing our biceps to our ears, and on the exhale, drawing our knees in towards our chest, bringing the palms of our hands to the tops of our knees. As we inhale in, we'll straighten our elbows, sending our knees away from our body just slightly. And as we exhale, drawing our knees back in towards our chest. Repeating that motion here, inhaling as we press the knees away. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. Taking our time, allowing our breath to guide the movement. Pressing that lower back into the mat. And then next time we come into an inhale, we'll press those knees all the way away until our feet are resting comfortably on the mat. Sending our arms out to a T, palms facing up, walking our feet to just slightly further than hip distance apart. Taking a big inhale in here, and as we exhale, dropping both of our knees over towards the left side of the floor or mat. Inhaling in, we'll bring those knees back up through center, and as we exhale, allowing them to float over to the right side of the floor. Continuing that motion here, inhaling to the center, and exhale as we melt to the sides. Again, taking your time, allowing your breath to guide this movement here. Nice gentle twist. And next time we find ourselves with our knees over towards the left side, as they've melted over towards that left side, holding there for one breath cycle. And on the next inhale, coming back to the center with those knees. And as we exhale, dropping them over towards the right side of the floor and holding there for one breath cycle. And then on that next inhale, returning those knees to center. And taking a big exhale here. Inhaling and sending our arms up overhead, biceps to our ears. And as we exhale, drawing our knees back in towards our chest. This time bringing the palms of our hands to either the tops of our knees, the tops of our shins, or the backs of our thighs. And finding a gentle rocking motion here from side to side. Inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. Taking our time here, allowing our breath to guide this movement. Inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. And the next time we come through that center position, we'll find that moment of pause. And hugging our right knee into our chest, we'll bring the palm of our left foot to the mat, and then send that left leg out long so it's stretched comfortably down the mat. And then bringing the palms of our hands to the back of our right thigh here. As we inhale in, we'll straighten that right knee, sending that left foot up towards the ceiling, only as far as is comfortable today, keeping that knee nice and bent if it feels best. On the exhale, bringing that right foot back down. Inhaling in, straightening that right leg. Exhale as we bring the right foot back down. And now bringing the palm of our right hand to the inside of that right knee as we inhale and sending that right knee off to the right side, stretching through that right hip. Exhale, bringing the knee back to center. Inhaling and sending the right knee off to the right side. And exhale as we come back to center. Now combining those two movements together as we inhale and straightening that right leg, right foot to ceiling, keeping that bend in knee if needed. Exhale as we bring the right foot back down. Inhaling in as we send the right knee off to the right side. Exhale as we bring the right knee back to center. Inhaling and straightening the right leg. Exhale, bringing the right foot back down. Inhaling as we send the right knee off to the right side. And this time on the exhale, drawing that right knee all the way up over through center and onto the floor in front of us on that left side, coming all the way onto our left side here. And then if comfortable, we can send that right arm out to that half T here to kind of stretch through this right shoulder. If this feels uncomfortable, the arm having the arm stretched out like that, we can offer this right hand onto our rib cage. Perhaps bringing the left hand to the outside of that right knee to deepen the stretch here. If that feels good, wherever we're at, we'll breathe here for just a couple of breath cycles. Taking those nice big inhales and complete exhales. And when we come into that next inhale, we'll bring ourselves back to the center on our backs. And then bringing the right foot to the mat and walking our left foot up to join it and centering ourselves back on the mat here. Finding our posture. And taking a big inhale and sending those arms up overhead, biceps to ears. And exhale, bringing the palms of our hands to the tops of our knees. Inhaling and pressing our knees away from our body slightly, straightening our elbows. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. Repeating that motion here. Inhaling as we press the knees away. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. Inhaling, pressing the knees away just slightly. And exhale as we bring the knees back in. And this time pausing once the knees are drawn in. And bringing our hands to hug that left knee in towards our chest now. Bringing the right foot to the mat and then sending our right leg out long so it's nice and comfortably stretched down the mat. Bringing the palms of our hands to the back of this left thigh here as we inhale and straightening that left leg, sending left foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing the left foot back down. And again, inhaling in as we send that left foot towards the ceiling, only going as far as is comfortable, keeping that bend in the knee if desired, and then bringing that left foot back down. Bringing the palm of our left hand to the inside of that left knee now as we inhale and sending that left knee off to the left side, stretching through the left hip. Exhale, bringing the left knee back to center. Inhale, sending the left knee off to the left side. Exhale, bringing the left knee back to center. And again, combining those two movements together here now on this side. Inhale in as we send that left foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale as we bring the left foot down. Inhale, opening up through the left hip, left knee off to the left side. Exhaling, coming back to center with that left knee. Inhaling in, left foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, drawing the foot back in. Inhaling as we send that left knee off to the left side. And this time on the exhale, bringing that left knee all the way up over through center and onto the floor in front of us and coming up onto the right side here. And then if comfortable, opening up through that left shoulder. We can also bring the left palm to our rib cage and perhaps offering that right hand to the outside of the left knee to help deepen the stretch if that feels comfortable in your body. Wherever we're at, we'll take 2 breath cycles here. And when we come into that next inhale, returning to our backs and bringing the palm of the left foot to the mat, right up to join it, and then centering ourselves on the mat again here. Big inhale in as we send those fingertips up overhead, biceps to ears. And exhale, drawing our knees in towards our chest, palms of our hands to the tops of our knees. As we inhale and pressing those knees away from our body, just slightly. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. And again, repeating this movement here a few times, following your own breath, your own pace. Pressing our lower back into the mat as we move. And the next time we find ourselves coming into an inhale, we'll keep pressing those knees all the way away until our feet are resting comfortably on the mat. And then picking a side, whichever side feels the best to roll onto in this moment, we'll come onto that side. And then taking a couple of breaths here. And then when ready, we will make our way up into tabletop, coming onto our hands and knees. Checking in with our posture here in our tabletop. Our knees directly beneath our hip points, tops of our feet pressing into the mat here. And the palms of our hands either directly beneath our shoulder points or perhaps walked up the mat just a little bit, if that feels more comfortable for you. And we'll begin with this nice, relatively straight line from the crown of our head to the tip of our tailbone. And when we come into our next inhale, we'll bring our tailbone and the crown of our head towards the ceiling. And as we exhale, rounding our back and then bringing our elbows to the mat as we shift our hips back towards our heels coming into a child's pose here. Inhaling in, slowly making our way back up, coming into that cow pose as our tailbone and crown of our head lift towards the ceiling. And exhale, rounding the back, bringing our elbows to the mat as we send our hips back into a child's pose. Really allowing your breath to guide this movement here as we inhale in, coming back into that cow just one more time. Crown of our head, tailbone towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, rounding the back, sending our sit bones back towards our heels, coming onto our elbows. And this time we'll hold here in child's pose for a couple of breaths. If it's more comfortable for you, we can make a little pillow here to rest our head on by bringing the palms of our hands to our elbows. Taking those nice big inhales and complete exhales. And the next time we find ourselves coming to an inhale, we'll slowly make our way back up, coming into that tabletop position once again. Adjusting our clothes as we go along. Taking a nice big inhale here in our tabletop. And on the exhale, stepping our right foot up just halfway. So not coming all the way up towards where our right palm is, but somewhere in between where the right palm is on the mat and where that right knee just was here. If we were to lift up this right palm right now, we would be making a triangle with our left hand, our right foot, and that left knee. And walking that right foot out really as far as is comfortable for you. As we get into this movement, you might notice that you'd like to make adjustments, and that's perfectly fine. Those right toes flared off to that right side just slightly. We'll begin making some slight rolling motions with our hips here. Beginning one direction to start, and again adjusting that right foot if necessary for comfort in this position. Really taking our time, taking those nice big inhales and complete exhales. And then switching directions, whichever way you were going the other direction for a few rotations here. Breathing as we move. Wherever we're at, we will take one more big inhale in. And as we exhale, finding that center position here with our hips, and then bringing that right knee back to the mat, and we'll all press back into a child's pose of our choosing. For child's pose, we can have our knees together, or we can bring our knees apart, bringing our big toes together. We can send our arms up overhead, or making that little pillow here again to rest our forehead. Wherever you're comfortable, we'll take a couple of breaths here. When we come into that next inhale, coming back into our tabletop position here. Taking that big inhale in. And as we exhale, stepping our left foot up now, coming about halfway. And then finding some comfort with that left foot, maybe walking it out a little bit further perhaps. Those left toes flared out to the left side here slightly. And when ready, we'll begin making those hip roll motions here, taking our time, begin adjusting our feet, our stance if needed, taking those nice big inhales and complete exhales. And now switching directions, taking our time, breathing as we move. Wherever we are at, we will take one more big inhale in. And as we exhale, centering our hips here. And then bringing that left knee back, and one more time, pressing back into that child's pose of our choosing. Either sticking with the same one that felt comfortable a moment ago, or perhaps mixing it up, whatever feels best. Nice big inhales and complete exhales. When we come into that next inhale, we'll slowly bring ourselves back up into our tabletop, bringing our knees to directly beneath our hip points, palms of our hands either directly underneath our shoulder points or perhaps walked up a little bit, tops of our feet pressing into the mat. As we inhale in, bringing our tailbone and crown of our head towards the ceiling, and as we exhale, rounding our back, melting tailbone and forehead towards the mat. Moving through this motion here a few times, following your own breath, your own pace. Next time we find ourselves coming through that center position, that neutral position, we'll find that moment of pause. And then crossing our ankles, we'll press ourselves back, coming into a seated position, centering ourselves on the mat here. And keeping the palms of our feet actually pressed into the mat here. And then bringing the palms of our hands to the mat behind us. We'll take a big inhale in. And as we exhale, begin working our way down into that flat back position, coming onto our forearms, onto our elbows first, then slowly lowering until our shoulders are resting comfortably on the mat. Keeping the palms of our feet pressing into the mat here still. Taking a couple of breaths here, fixing our posture, pressing evenly through our hip points and shoulder points into the mat. Staying nice and long through the back of the neck. Coming into that next inhale, sending our arms up overhead, biceps to ears. And as we exhale, drawing our knees in towards our chest. Bringing the palms of our hands to the insides of our knees. And as we inhale and sending our knees off to their respective sides. And then either reaching for our big toes, our ankles, or the backs of our thighs here. We'll play around for just a couple of breath cycles in Happy Baby. maybe sending one leg out at a time or both. Maybe finding a little bit of rocking from side to side. Whatever feels best, just making sure we're taking those nice big inhales and complete exhales. Wherever we're at, taking one more big inhale in. And as we exhale, drawing those heels back in and then bringing the knees back together. Bringing the palms of our hands to the tops of our knees as we inhale and sending the knees away from our body slightly, straightening our elbows here. And as we exhale, drawing the knees back in towards our chest. Inhaling and pressing the knees away. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. Moving through this just a few more times here. Inhaling as we press the knees away. Exhale, drawing the knees back in. Taking our time. And next time we find ourselves coming into an inhale, we'll keep pressing those knees all the way away until our feet are resting comfortably on the mat. And then finding some comfort on the mat as we move into our resting posture for today. If knees bent feels the best for you, I invite you to stay here. We can send our legs out long, bringing our hands at our sides or perhaps resting on our belly. If you have a blanket or towel or pillow, now would be a great time to bring something under your head. Or perhaps rolling the blanket, putting it under your knees. Whatever you need to do to find comfort in this moment, I would invite you to do so. Doing a quick full body scan here. We'll see if there's anywhere where maybe we're holding on to a little bit of extra tension and doing our best to allow that tension to melt away, even if it's just for the few minutes that we're resting here today. Relaxing our shoulders away from our ears, allowing our shoulder blades to melt into the mat. Relaxing our hands, relaxing our feet. Unfurrowing our brow. Closing our eyes if we're comfortable to do so, or softening our gaze if we would prefer. Relaxing our jaw. Allowing our tongue to move away from the roof of our mouth. And allowing our breath to return to its nice, natural resting state as we lay here breathing and relaxing for the next few minutes. The video will end here, but I invite you to continue resting for the next several minutes, breathing and resting. Namaste.